out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest feast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows mean. He gets claws real big, pissed off quick, and if you cross him you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored, loves the blood and gore, always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the force departed. If you start shit, you'll be heartless in the darkness, torn apart quick, you left scars ripped, you'll be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. Adrenaline pressure, it's stormy weather, lightning, thunder, pouring weather. Yo, I'm a go-getter, try to do it like me, better do it better. I got a mind that's clever, the beast inside is competitive as ever. I'm conscious, my subconscious, an accomplice to me. I promise the darkness, I can honest believe. But don't cross me, I might lose control of the lost beast. He's locked away inside with the key control by fight or flight. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
About this last song, get your snacks, get your drinks together, and we will get started. Let's go. I woke up like a half an hour ago, so I'm a little sluggish.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, yeah. Baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
No animal cruelty in the no animal cruelty in the chat. Midnight, I'm looking at you.
Star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad. Baby, I'm bad. I got cash in the bag, stadium packed. What a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed.
So apparently, we have a seagull in chat, and Midna is threatening to feed it Mentos. Now, I am not for animal cruelty, and I disavow before anyone tries to cancel me because of the conversation that's going on in the chat. So, I disavow, disavow, disavow. I don't want anybody trying to say that I am okay with what Midna is saying in the chat. Okay? I want it known and on the record. Thank you. Thank you, Seagull Crimes. I appreciate it. Okay? I disavow. All right. I want that to be known. Thank you very much. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing good? Are we doing good? Are we doing good? I'm gonna let y'all get through this ADHD moment, and then we can get started. I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. The ADHD moments never stop. True. Yeah, what happened was I saw J. Aubrey make a video 9 days ago about Ruby Franke. And I wanted to watch like the first half of it because I don't care about, I mean, I'm happy for the arrest, don't get me wrong. But we've really covered that a lot on the broadcast. I wanted to actually get to know more about Ruby Franke and possibly Jody Hildebrandt a little bit more than what we've covered on the broadcast. So I figured I would do that video, and then somebody made a video about they found some old videos from Ruby Franke about 2 months ago. I saw that one. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see these, so. Oh, that's awesome, Hayden. Congratulations. So. But yeah, I wanted to watch that part. And I figured y'all would probably want to do it too. Because all I know is that woman's evil. Yeah. We're along for the ride. I know that's right. So, whoo, man. K-Huck's over there, got Beckett of Crabs with her, and they're actually having a really good conversation. I'm going to kind of be honest. It's probably one of the best conversations that she's had on that channel so far from what I've heard. So, there's a creator I kind of like that made some really good videos. She's digging into the sisters. Midna, what is the name of that creator? That's awesome, Hayden. Raven, I don't go down dark rabbit holes unless it's my intention to. I don't get stuck on one subject like a lot of people do. That's the great thing about having ADHD. I dive in, I look what I see, I find what I find, and then I'm out. What's up, Zero? Oh, actually, she is the creator that made the video that I'm looking at tonight, 2 months ago. Midna. And I'm already subscribed to her with the bell on. Ah, you thought you knew something that I didn't know, huh? Midna over here committing crimes against freaking seagulls and thinks that she's smarter than me. Oh. Busted. Oh, believe me, I saw some pretty bad stuff already. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the recap. So this is JAUBREY'S video. I'm going to start with the recap, and then of course we're going to skip over the sponsor. And then we're going to go is Who is Jody Hildebrandt, and then the Connections Classroom, and then we're going to stop there. Because I know all about Jesse Hildebrandt and this part right here. So I know about that part. I just want to go over these 3 sections right here. So okay, enough seagull talk. We are done with it. All right, put a 1 in the chat if you're ready to get started. All right, awesome. All right, let's go. I guess we can watch his intro too, because I have a tendency of liking JAUBREY'S intros also. So let's watch his intro also.
Well, we have 6 children. The 2 youngest are showing...
Oh, wait, hold on. I want to put those on too. And I want to speed it up. Let's do 125, because he talks kind of fast.
long patterns of selfishness, unwillingness to repent. We told them that this year they are not going to be visited by Santa. I was really hoping that like keeping them home from school and wiping the floorboards would like really bring pain. And it wasn't painful for them. It's because they're so numb.
If your kid came to you on fire, would you say, I'm just gonna love you where you are right now? No, you throw them on the ground and you start rolling them. You get a blanket and you start hitting the flames. And they're gonna say, you're hurting me, you're beating me, you're controlling. It's like, no dear, hold still, I'm getting fire out.
Oh God, she is so, you know, it's funny, the more we cover the Ruby Franke thing on the broadcast, the more I feel like she's a sociopath. Swear to God. I feel like she doesn't have any feelings. Honestly, I feel like this woman doesn't have any feelings. You know? I really don't. I don't think she has any feelings for other human beings.
Pain is meant to be a teacher. It's your ally.
725 is a 15-minute ETS of 0.
Police say this is the house a young child escaped from and went to a neighbor's house asking for food and water.
Mother of 6 children and a momfluencer.
On August 31st, I turned on the TV to see Ruby Franke, a disgraced YouTuber with over 2 million subscribers and 1 billion views at her zenith, being arrested in southern Utah on 6 counts of aggravated child abuse. At the time of me recording this, she's still being held without bail.
Miss Franke, can you hear me?
Yes.
Some of you might recognize Ruby from when I discussed 8 Passengers on this channel back in 2020. A once significant pillar of the family vlogging community, 8 Passengers became the subject of severe scrutiny when a litany of unflattering moments.
I literally don't understand how her channel got as far as it did. Especially with what she was showing and what she was saying on her channel. I don't understand how she got away with it. I really don't understand how she got away with it. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane to me.
Moments made their way outside of their intended audience.
If you cut one more thing, I'm going to take the scissors and I'm going to cut its head off.
Drop and give me 10. You're gonna lose the privilege to eat dinner.
When Ruby and her husband Kevin uploaded their last video in
Okay, I will say the eat dinner thing, that's an old punishment. That's an old punishment. But if you're doing to the point where my child forgot to make their, first of all, they shouldn't have to make their lunch that young anyway. But my child forgot to take their lunch to school. I'm not going to bring it to them and make sure they don't eat. Tells the teacher, make sure they don't eat. Bitch, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with that.
January of 2022, the 8 Passengers YouTube channel lay dormant and untouched for over a year until being mysteriously deleted just a few weeks prior to the arrest, almost as if Ruby knew something was coming.
It might be 5 years, 10 years. I might even take it to the grave with me. My dirty little secret.
But she isn't the only villain in our story here.
Jody Nan Hildebrandt?
Yes.
Jody Hildebrandt is an author, life coach, and somehow licensed therapist who once possessed quite a bit of influence in the Mormon church, being recommended by Mormon.
And there's the problem right there. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. There's the problem right there. There's the problem right there.
Bishops to counsel thousands of clients over her decades of professional practice, if we want to completely undercut the definition of professional, because Jody's highly contested methods of treatment and blatant disregard for basic ethics have made her quite the polarizing figure to nearly everyone familiar with her, though Ruby didn't see her that way, and recruited Jody to
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and y'all have, if you've seen the broadcast, you probably already know my theory. I have a theory about Ruby and Jody, okay? My theory is, and this is just a theory, I am not stating facts, okay? This is, you know, for entertainment purposes only, all right? I think they're girlfriends, but they won't come out and say it because of their religion, because the Mormon church does not look very well at stuff like that. But some of those pictures and how they sit next to each other, you just don't do that with your best girlfriend. I'm sorry. Okay? The Mormon church does not look good on stuff like that, so I think they hide it. Honestly.
counsel those in the Franke family before finally joining her as a business partner around 2021, abandoning the vlogging career that made her such an icon to instead educate the masses on parenting as a certified mental fitness trainer, whatever the hell that's supposed to be. Join me in documenting the updated saga of Ruby and Jody's trajectory of once ruining the lives of everyone around them to now sleeping in a cold hard cell of a jailhouse literally called Purgatory. I'm not making that up, that is actually the name. And if I'm
No, they literally need to be underneath the jail. We shouldn't even be wasting tax dollars on them. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there.
being honest, it's a pretty ironic place for someone like Ruby to end up. The Frankes embodied the idealistic image of a happy, all-American family on their channel, with their children being the biggest drawing point. Archived screenshots indicate that almost every single title and thumbnail centered on the kids to some degree or another, making content out of their illnesses, injuries, and embarrassing moments, even when the children didn't want the audience seeing it.
Julie has been asking all summer if she can shave her legs and armpits. So there's a lot of hair in there, actually.
Don't show that.
Why are you doing that on video? Oh my God. Listen, okay? If your children don't want to be seen on video, then don't do it. It's an easy concept. If they are not comfortable with that camera in front of them, even if it's only at certain periods of their life, like that little girl wanting to shave for the first time, she didn't want the audience to see it, then put the fucking camera down. It's not that hard. It really isn't that hard. What the fuck is wrong with people?
And who can blame them? You don't know who all is watching this stuff.
In fact, there's an analytic that you can look at, and it shows you, like, when people search your name, the things that they search with. And Sherry Franke period is one of the top 5 most searched things with my name. And
That's not good. That's not a good thing. Oh my God, no. Oh, it did the volume. God damn it. Hold on.
haven't even mentioned it.
As it's clear now.
Analytic that you can look at, and it shows you, like, when people search your name, the things that they search with. And Sherry Franke period is one of the top 5 most searched things with my name.
That's not good. That's horrible.
And I haven't even mentioned it.
As it's clear now that the comment sections in particular were never the greatest source of encouragement to their eldest daughter Sherry, whose face I will no longer be censoring since she's an adult now, has made an effort to get as far away from her mother as possible, speaking openly about the ways in which daily vlogging has affected her self-esteem. It got to a point where for years on end, Sherry would obsess over what the viewers thought about her. What people were typing down below each video weighed on her in a way that no child should ever be burdened with.
Did that ever get hard, being in the limelight all the time?
Yeah, it got hard. I feel like as I got older, people got like meaner in the comments. They would say things like, she's just gonna grow up, become a baby making machine, like,
wow. Oh my
just because
gosh.
she's a member of the church. And so there was a lot of attack on
At
religion.
13?
Yeah.
How did that affect you as a young kid?
I found myself, like, I would tell myself.
You know why? Because guess what a large part of that, oh my God. Guess what a large part of the people who watch that shit was probably. I'm pretty sure I don't have to say it out loud. But there's a reason why they like seeing the little girl shave her legs. There's a reason why the top 5 searches was that girl starting her period when they never discussed. There's probably a reason why. It's because of the audience, probably about half the audience watching it. Honestly.
It doesn't matter what they say. Like, I know how I feel about myself, and I think I believed that for a while.
Yeah.
But I always would find myself just like checking comments on Instagram, on YouTube, just to see what people had said about me.
Whether it be good or bad, you feel like it was okay.
I just wanted to like be aware of what people were saying, I guess, and that probably got to like an unhealthy point where I was just checking all the time. And even through college, sometimes I've had to just like check. And
really?
Yeah.
But as Sherry describes it, she got used to this. She adjusted to having every trip to the supermarket and doctor's office documented online for profit because she had no choice.
We took a camera when we'd go on vacations, we'd film going to the store, we'd just like always kind of film everything. But over the years, like I got used to it more. It's like, yeah, this is like our job. This is how we pay for vacations. This is how we get to do fun stuff. You don't love it every day, but you do it because it's work.
This was a...
You know, I agree with Bunny. I 100% agree with Bunny. Bunny said that, okay, so now they have laws for child actors. They need to have laws for children being put in front of a camera on like YouTube or even any kind of social media. They need some kind of law. They need to come up with a set of laws about that. Because this is ridiculous. I guarantee you those kids didn't see a goddamn penny of that money. Even if it's put into some kind of trust fund that they can't touch until they're 21. I bet you these kids didn't see a dime when it was their life, their embarrassments, their crucial moments of even becoming a child and growing up to be an adult. I bet you they haven't seen a dime.
Mandatory round-the-clock job with no fixed hours or salaries for the Franke children. And while they may have been generating 7-figure profits for their parents, making it possible for them to take nice trips and live in a big house, the rigidity of their daily lives made it difficult to enjoy any of those privileges. They'd take trips to vlog them. They'd have nice rooms to vlog in. They'd put food on the table for Ruby to deprive them of.
My kids are literally starving. I hesitate to say this because it's gonna sound like I'm like a mean barbarian, but I told the kids, I said, I'm not even gonna let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
Stop crying or I'm gonna have you go upstairs and you won't have any breakfast.
Bro! What? See, and this is what irritates me about that, okay? You have kids whose families are literally so broke that they can't eat breakfast. And your privileged ass is telling your children they can't have breakfast. Oh my God, bro. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You need some breakfast. You don't need food.
You know it's bad when there are multiple
They don't need food. Oh my God. Oh.
clips out there of a parent withholding food from their children and defending it as a necessary disciplinary tactic. In one infamous clip, Ruby describes dinner as a privilege, and in another, she refuses to bring lunch to her then 6-year-old daughter at school, since it is her responsibility to prepare her own lunch. Never mind the fact that she's a literal kindergartner, she screwed up. So
I'm sorry, at 6 years old, you should not. Listen, I can understand at 6, you're teaching your kid, you're teaching them about cooking and stuff like that. I get that. You know? Teach them young. All right? I got it. But they should not be in charge of making their lunch at 6 years old.
let's pray she learns her lesson and that nobody else gives her food, right?
I just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch, and it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with a lunch. But I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, so the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry, and hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
I think you can see why Ruby's in jail right now. I mean, these clips just go on.
Yeah, like literally
just had Russell, and Julie was just crying a lot and whiny, and one day I looked at her and I'm like, you just stink. She had like peed her pants or something, and it was just because she was being neglected, because I was totally paying attention to the new baby.
It's nice. Where was the husband? And if he was at work, when she makes statements like that, it makes me feel like she's a sociopath. Now, I can't diagnose anybody, okay? So don't get me wrong. I can't diagnose people, obviously. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I certainly don't talk like one. But it just makes me feel like that's what she is. She literally gives no fucks about anybody but herself. It's crazy.
She was up all night. I heard her getting into the freezer to get ice cubes at around 2 in the morning, and I could hear her whimpering and crying. And then at 4 in the morning, she came and got in bed with me, and she was just kind of whimpering. And don't you hate it when your kid is sick, but they don't have a fever until after the whining starts? I just thought the whining was because she was manipulating. Not true. She's not feeling well.
For being in town.
But you yelled at me.
Shh. The fact that I yell at my kids is a secret. We don't want our viewers to know. That never happens in my house. I never yell.
Sometimes I wondered if I should, get rid of my kids.
I would not object.
You want me to send you away? Sherry's like, oh no, donate me.
She was literally like hiding in plain sight in front of people. This is amazing to me.
A year ago, my daughter was saying her prayers. Eve, she was 6 years old at the time. And she was saying her prayers and she said the cutest thing. I thought it was so cute. And I started laughing. She said, "Dear Heavenly Father, please help me to survive." And I thought it was so cute and it just took me off guard and I kind of giggled a little.
When your kid is that young and they're using language, asking God in their prayer to survive, that's not cute. There's something wrong. Like, that child, they shouldn't be using language like that. They really shouldn't use language like that. That's not cute. And how she was able to say that with a straight face and say that it was cute is gross. What the fuck?
That was an experience for her, and she melted. She melted. She was angry.
But these moments only began to circulate after this video, where her eldest son Chad, who is also an adult now, shared to their audience that Ruby fully took away his bed as punishment for pranking his brother, being forced to sleep on a beanbag chair for 8 months straight at 15 years old.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple of weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
Sleeping on a beanbag. I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October, and they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom.
No, we never told our viewers.
That I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack.
Do you think it's funny? Because
and then I walk out.
If you think it's funny, then that was 7 months ago. Maybe you need longer without a bedroom.
This is what initially
Oh my God. Oh my God.
prompted many of those outside of their community to begin combing through their prior body of work, shining a light on further concerning admissions like when their 6-year-old daughter left her jacket at school and was excluded from the family ski trip.
So the reason why Eve did not go skiing with us was because she left her ski coat at school. And over the Christmas break before New Year's, they took everything from the lost and found and took it to donate. And Eve said, "Well, that's okay. Just buy me a new one. Just buy me a new ski coat." I said, "That is a very entitled attitude."
Or
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I just buy me a new one. Just buy me a new ski coat. I said, "That is."
Is that the daddy right there? Is that Mr. Franke right there? Because if that's Mr. Franke, the simple fact that you can just sit there while she is saying this shit in front of a camera. No, you shouldn't get those kids. As a matter of fact, they should investigate your ass too. You neglected those children. You left them. I don't give a shit if you and your wife were just temporarily separated or even divorced. But when it comes down to it, your children should come first than anyone else. And you neglected them. And you can't say you didn't know what was going on because you were in that house when she was doing fucked up shit to them. And you just sat there and you let it slide. They need to investigate his ass too. They need to investigate his ass. Because any real father would have fought for those babies. No, I will not stop moving my arrow cursor. Thank you very much.
Very entitled attitude.
Or the time Sherry had a medical emergency where she was losing her vision and Ruby stalled for over an hour before taking her to the hospital because she needed to first get ready.
And so she woke up this morning and she's like, "Mom, my vision is really blurry, like more blurry than it usually is." Kevin just came in. He's like, "I think we need to take Sherry to the emergency room." I said, "Well, let me take a shower and then I'll be out." It's been an hour. So I'm cleaning the sink, I'm cleaning the countertops, mopping the floor. I'm stalling. I think I'm ready now.
What do you mean? Oh my God. Oh my God. This woman is crazy. And he's right there. He's right there. I can only imagine my father would be yelling at my mother going, no, bitch, you're not going to take a shower. No, you're going to stop cleaning. Get your ass in the car now. If not, we're leaving you. They need to investigate him as well. They need to investigate him as well.
I'm ready to leave. I put on a little lip gloss, and that will be as much stalling as I'll go.
Ruby having to whip out the vlog cam and keep us all up to speed when her kid is literally in the next room going blind for some reason tells you a lot about who we're dealing with. This is someone who sent 14-year-old Chad to a troubled teen's wilderness camp out in Arizona against his will, and then had the nerve to milk the entire situation for all the clicks and ad revenue she could. In response to all of this backlash, though, I remember Ruby and Kevin citing a therapist their family had been seeing, almost as a way to absolve themselves of any possible wrongdoing on their end because all of their actions were being approved by a trained specialist.
And the things that we show and share and the things that many of you are criticizing and calling abusive are actually things that mental health professionals have counseled us to do.
Basically,
who was recommended by your church. They need to look into that section of the Mormon church too. I need you know what I need? I need every single adult attached to those children and the adults by proxy. I need all of them investigated. I need that CEO of Connections investigated. I need to know why CPS didn't look anything. I need them investigated. I need the Mormon church investigated because they're the ones that kept recommending Jody Hildebrandt. I need everybody investigated. I need everybody investigated because as many times as CPS was called on these people and those poor children were not taken away at any point when the proof was right there on YouTube, I need everyone investigated. Everyone. Not just the mom and not just Jody Hildebrandt. I need everyone investigated. Every single person. Every single fucking adult. And I need the neighbors, I need them to go and talk to the neighbors. Because even the neighbors were like, we were scared those kids were going to come out of body bags. They need to go talk to the neighbors too. And get the reason why they thought what they thought. I need them to talk to every single adult who even looked at those kids. Jesus Christ. Oh.
We as the viewers no longer needed to worry because a professional was finally on the case.
I had a phone call yesterday with my therapist, and she taught me about truth and distortion. Mom probably talks about Jody all the time. But
I've mentioned Jody a few times. She has a podcast called Connections with an X.
But if you ask me, any professional who has to resort to begging their clients for positive reviews like this, it probably isn't worth seeing.
We've put the link on the bottom of every single post. So all you have to do is click the link and give us a 5-star review. That's as simple as it is. But you guys aren't doing it. I think we've had 5 people from the last time I asked, which was probably a month ago. 5 out of almost 9,000.
Okay, bitch. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to sit your ass down.
5 people give us a review. That's 5. And we've had probably 50 to 75 people give us 1-star reviews. So we started with a 5, and in 3 months we're down to like a 2.
Okay, so what does that say about your practices, I wonder?
There is a link underneath every single video that says, give us a review. Click it and give us a 5-star, please. I don't understand why you won't do it.
This woman is in her 50s and she's throwing a temper tantrum like she's 3. Reminds me of the time Ruby lost her mind and her kids listening to secular music at school.
The teacher is going to have all of the students do a TikTok dance. And I said, a TikTok dance? I said, what songs are in this? And I looked it up to look up the lyrics. It is straight up hardcore porn. Straight up. It's all lustful. It's all suggestive. It's all seductive. It's all perverse.
I'm sure you're wondering at this point, what's the song, Aubrey? Well, I was wondering that too. Unfortunately, Ruby doesn't come out and name it herself, but she does mention it was used in a commercial for the grocery store Smith's. So naturally, I looked that up and discovered the song in question to be Low by Flo Rida, Apple Bottom Jeans. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone on the planet has heard it before. A song that's not only consistently played on the radio, I think the most I ever listened to it was when I was 7 years old.
No. Okay, yeah, but you gotta understand. All right, so, I got thrown into private Christian school, because I got in trouble in public school. I was fighting a little bit too much, right? And You would be amazed on how evil they think any secular music is, and the 5,000 excuses they give you on why secular music is bad. What pisses me off about this whole situation with Ruby Franke is because it's so deeply embedded in her faith. Honestly. It's so deeply embedded in her faith. And knowing that the Mormon church, I know that particular church that they were going to or whatever, was recommending Jodi Hildebrandt, that's why I say they should be investigated as well. So...
Nowhere in here was the school or the teacher being protective of these children's innocence. No one was trying to look out for what was best for these kids.
Starvation and lack of privacy is totally okay, but part of a Flow Rida song is where we draw the line. Good to know.
So I went in and I had an appointment with the principal and I said, you approved this song that has all of these lyrics in it. And she says, well, we're not dancing to those lyrics. It's just a portion. If it's agreeable to the public at large, then it's okay in the school. And I said, that's really disappointing. You, the principal, who are supposed to be bringing morality and supposed to be a standard, who have these precious children, you are not protecting them. You are not protecting them. You are introducing them to the world. And you're saying it's okay. You're saying that you support this.
I have consumed countless hours of Ruby Franke content, and I have never once seen her get more emotional than when she's talking about a song featured in the 2011 PG movie Zookeeper.
You know, that's what I was thinking too. Because as much shit as she's done to her children, and she's getting so upset over a song. When quite frankly, people were getting upset with what she was doing with her kids. What she was doing to her kids was a fuckload more important than a damn Flow Rida song.
You will answer for what you brought into this school and expose these children to. And she says, yeah, I will, and I'm fine with it. I am 100% fine with what I've chosen. I'm like, that's sick.
Clearly, Ruby is just as well adjusted as her bestie Jodi. And as we're about to see, mixing these two is like throwing gasoline on a grease fire.
Anyone who comes and objects and says, hey, this isn't appropriate, are deemed a Karen. Now, Karen is a new term for Jodi.
I didn't know what that meant.
That's because she doesn't have bratty high school children who turn around and call their moms Karens when held accountable. But a Karen is a derogatory term used towards mothers who hold their kids accountable.
No.
Karen is a derogatory term used towards
No. No, ma'am. No question mark?
Mothers who hold their kids accountable.
Before we really introduce Jodi, I do want to go ahead and thank today's sponsor.
Wow. All right, hold on one second. We're gonna finish. We're gonna keep going. I just gotta run and get me a drink real quick. Hold on one second. That is not a Karen. What the fuck is wrong with this woman? How can you be on the internet and not know the definition of Karen? That makes no damn sense. How can you be on the internet and... bro. And yet be so clueless?
Jodi Hildebrandt was born in Salt Lake City, Utah in 1969. Raised in a strong conservative household, Jodi was taught to follow the teachings of the LDS Church from a young age. She got her bachelor's degree at Brigham Young University in '96 and her master's in psychology at the University of Utah in 2003. Over the next few years, Jodi worked as a program director at a drug rehabilitation center in Orem. The experiences she had here would greatly go on to shape the curriculum and structure of her own program she later founded by the name of Connections, which she spelled like a shitty rap name. While Jodi's LinkedIn places her at Connections Classroom, Missouri early as 2007, the company's official website states she didn't actually found it until 2012. And even then, it wasn't a registered LLC until 2018, so the true origin of this thing is still a little fuzzy. Complicated even more by the fact that this 15-year-old interview I found indicates that by 2008, Jody was managing Utah County's chapter of Xylie Star, a program designed to help sex addicts work through recovery.
Oh my God, that's why every single man that went to Jody Hildebrandt, it was all about sex and porn and stuff like that, no matter what. Now, look, I'm not one to throw this term very lightly at people, okay? But I'm going to be honest with you. From what I've seen of the interviews of the men that's gone through her program, Jody Hildebrandt hates men. I'm telling you, she hates men. I truly believe it.
Now, why Jody's LinkedIn fails to mention the time she spent at Xylie Star, I have no idea. This was a pretty significant period of her career, considering it's around the time she literally lost her license.
She mentioned that she was basically doing this higher duty to the world, this higher service, if you will, and that she was punished by society, you know, in the light of like taking her licensing away.
According to this 2012 article from the Salt Lake City Tribune, Jody was reprimanded by the Utah Division of Professional Licensing, or DOPL, for discussing a patient with LDS church leaders and a Brigham Young University without the patient's permission. Her license was put on probation.
Good. They should have kept it away. Good. You're not supposed to do that. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying even the people who dealt with her and recommended her, they need to be investigated also. They all do. Every single one of them.
For 18 months, effective January 25th of that year. While anonymous at the time, this patient was later revealed to be Adam Paul Steed, a prominent Mormon.
You know what, Fairy? You're probably correct, and it could be something more sinister happened to her. Fairy says a man probably wronged her, so now she blames all men. It could have been something more sinister that happened towards her, which that would make you understand the psychology behind what she did. But still, grown-ass woman, she shouldn't have, any of that. None of it.
Whistleblower who has spoken at great length about his time with Jody. As the official DOPL order states, from 2008 to 2010, Jody repeatedly discussed private details about Adam and his wife with their LDS clergy and other mental health therapists without having signed authorization, and in 2009, spoke about Adam to the Honor Code office at BYU. Adam explains that despite Jody spreading false information about him, these rumors still resulted in him losing privileges at the church and even being ejected as a student.
See, that's what irritates me, and that's why I said the church should be investigated. Because why his therapy with her, why did he lose privileges in his church? Because of her. That makes no sense. Because those are supposed to be two separate entities. And his ejection from BYU because of what she said, these two should have nothing to do with each other. And she should not have anything to do with them. That's a scary connection. That's a very scary connection right there.
From BYU. According to him, Jody sought to ruin his reputation after he refused counseling for a sex and porn addiction he didn't have.
She didn't want me to leave her therapy group. It was thousands of dollars a month. I couldn't go to any other therapist. I was trying to go to other therapists because they were saying I was an addict in denial. And, it was just crazy. Jody, in her group, she said that if you had to spend time not thinking about something, just the fact that you had to not think about it meant you were an addict.
A recurring theme we'll see of Jody is that she tends to create or exacerbate problems so that her patients must continue to rely on her for treatment. For example, one of her core philosophies is that everyone has an addiction of some kind, though truthfully, Adam had only seen about 2 hours worth of porn in his entire life at that point. Plus, that's not even why he came to her in the first place. He and his wife only wanted marriage counseling. So of course he didn't want to keep paying Jody $2,000 a month for a type of therapy he hadn't signed signed up for. As he insists, we came there for marriage counseling and she pulled us into her porn marathon. She hardly spent any time knowing about my life. She didn't want to talk about my personal goals or my progress. She would only threaten me that if I didn't take more sessions and have my wife take more sessions, the alleged addiction would destroy my life. Yet, as he alleges, it was Jody who ended up destroying his life in the end, successfully painting him as some kind of dangerous addict in front of the church and ripping his family apart from the inside, telling NBC that she weaponized his experience as a victim of child sexual abuse against him. Jody was blaming everything on me being a sexual addict. She was saying that every time I said I was a victim of sexual abuse, that was my addiction speaking. So if I had
That's so gross. Oh my God, she's evil. She's evil.
PTSD and trauma, and I mentioned it, they would confront me that was my addiction of sexual abuse. As stated in the article, Adam...
Okay, I know BYU is connected to the Mormon Church. I do know. That's the reason why it's called Brigham Young University. Okay? I do understand that, and I do know that, all right? Jody Hildebrandt should not be able to go to them and say, hey, this person is bad, and people get ejected, or they lose privileges in their church and stuff like that. Okay, so I do understand Brigham Young University is connected to the Mormon Church. I do understand that, and I do know that. I do.
Believed his ex-wife began feeling like she had to protect herself and their children from him, thanks to Jody's counseling. And despite constantly accusing him of having serious mental health problems, Jody never actually diagnosed Adam with anything.
And now she was saying I was mentally unhealthy, and I couldn't choose for myself because of how unhealthy I was. I couldn't choose to go to another therapist. This was my addiction working to not receive the confrontation that she had. And, you know, she just... y'all, this is just so hard to talk about. Like, I'm trying to give a condensed, quick version without sharing all these...
Oh, she destroyed his life. She destroyed him. And it's amazing that she had that much power. She shouldn't have had that much power to do that.
Dramatic files that are the complete evidence of who this lady is and what she is.
As a result of admitting to such unethical behavior, Jody was required to spend the next year and a half meeting 22 conditions or have her license be permanently suspended. This included working under a Doppel supervisor who would video or audio tape at least one clinical session a month and review 20% of her patient files. Throughout each probation interview, though, Jody was found to be in total compliance with her stipulation, and by 2013, the board reviewed her essay and felt it was done very well. So by June 27th, 2013, her probation had ended and her license was officially reinstated, which is just such a nice and dandy way to end this story, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely disgusting. She should have never got it back.
Fortunately, though, you can no longer request Jody services as she just surrendered her license from jail, so I'm sorry you missed your chance. But to get an idea of how amazing she was, why don't we hear what some of her reviews have to say? This one from an entire decade ago writes, several professionals and peers have serious concerns with Jody Hildebrandt. She has been described as combative by her peers. Indeed, in our case, where no pornography is involved, Jody has drawn other erratic and erroneous relationship conclusions. Very unprofessional. Or this one from 8 years ago. She has intentionally exposed very confidential information to third-party persons, even including my family information that was not to be shared. She does this for personal and monetary gain. She's very unprofessional, has no tact nor integrity.
It's okay. I'm gonna be honest. You know what she was? It's almost like she was a spy for the church. She was a spy for the church. That's what she was. She was a spy. She was literally the one to collect the information and go to them with it. That's why they would probably, and what it sounds like to me, not saying it's the truth, it's a conspiracy theory for entertainment purposes only, but that's what it sounds like. The people that probably recommended her, that's probably exactly the reason why she was recommended, because they knew she was going to go to them and tell them everything. She was like their little spy.
Cannot be trusted. From 6 years ago, I'm very concerned with the unprofessional tactics used by this therapist. Her treatment is a slippery slope of its own. If you've had a relatively strong and healthy marriage, stay away from her shame-based treatment. 4 years ago, Miss Hildebrandt brainwashed my wife that I had an addiction when I did not. My wife was so certain I was hiding something as a result of this woman's lies that we had to go to an honest counselor to help dispel this dishonesty that this woman has told my wife. Do not go to this woman. Another one from 4 years ago.
Damn.
She is not a good person. I went to one of her Connections 101 classes because my wife has a friend who likes her, but after the class I looked her up and saw the review saying that her license was on probation. After that, I called her and asked for a refund, $270 for the classes I wouldn't be attending, because someone should not have to continue to pay for a counselor for undelivered services when they learn that the counselor has acted illegally. She did not respond. I emailed her in their office, but they did not respond. I did the same thing 2 more times, and they still have not answered my emails and voicemails. I think I will have to get the police or attorneys involved to get my refund. 3 years ago. I can't believe this.
Jesus Christ, have mercy. It's amazing to me how so many people saw how they were. Oh my God.
Woman is still in practice. I have never met anyone so manipulative and so projecting of their own issues. I have recently come to realize that several other people's marriages all ended in a similar fashion while under her control. I suggest you see literally anyone else. 1 year ago, I told her I suspected I had Asperger's syndrome and she flat out told me I was wrong. Come to find out, I do. If she had listened to me and been willing to work with me on getting a diagnosis, I could have saved a lot of pain and heartache. Another one from last year, she sets her clients up to depend on her so that she can keep collecting your money. She isolates her clients by setting up unrealistic expectations so they believe all of their friends and family are toxic.
And that's a cult, people. That's what cults do. Let's listen to that one again.
She isolates her clients by setting up unrealistic expectations so they believe all of their friends and family are toxic, leaving them to only depend on her and her support phone calls.
That's called a cult. That's called a cult. That's what cults do. When they isolate you, that's abusive, and and you're only supposed to talk to people who are in connections. That's a cult. That is a cult.
Needless to say, this woman plays God.
We're also hearing from another former client who says this is just the beginning.
He believes a lot more former clients will come forward with their stories of both shame and isolation.
Warner claims Hildebrandt would use shaming tactics to turn husbands and wives against each other, adding that she would convince men that their impure thoughts made them dangerous to their families.
There was a man that had successful business that believed that he was a danger to his wife and his family because he did a double take. Like if he saw a beautiful woman, he would see and he'd look again. This guy got his own apartment and separated from his family because he was a danger.
In some cases, Warner claims husbands were separated from their families for so long, they were considering suicide.
I think,
you know, nothing makes me so happy when they show her, hold on. When they show her in that part of when she was in right there, nothing makes me more happy because of how scared she looks.
This guy got his own apartment and separated from his family because he was a danger.
In some cases, Warner claims husbands were separated from their families for so long.
Nothing gives me more joy than to see that scared look on her face. I actually have great joy in my heart seeing how scared she looks. Honestly. Mr. Gamer and Nuke. I'm not talking about that right now, so, okay. That's awesome. But thank you. Thank you for telling me so I can go look later.
They were considering suicide.
I think you can probably get a sense of how controversial she is. Despite being a member of the official LDS Family Services referral list, a Rolodex of therapists and counselors specifically approved by the Mormon Church, the whole reason Adam ever came into contact with Jodi in the first place was when his Mormon bishop referred her.
I had just finished a settlement case with Boy Scouts of America, and then like immediately afterwards, my bishop asked me.
No, y'all are okay. I appreciate y'all letting me know because you know I'm going to watch it. You know I'm going to want to watch it. So I'll check it out when I'm done with this. But thank you. I appreciate y'all telling me because you know me. I'm working on a Just Pearly Things video. I'm really going to have everything done and like clips and everything made when I get my procedure done next Wednesday. Being that I won't be able to go live or speak or anything, that's when I'm going to be getting my clips together and getting my script together, and it's just going to be Just Pearly Things, me working on that video, so when I can talk, I can start recording that video. So, no, I'm down. You know I'm down for that stuff. So, I appreciate you two for letting me know. Thank you very much.
me to go to Jody Hildebrandt with my wife.
Jody Hildebrandt, despite all the baggage she carries, was being routinely recommended as a reliable counselor by the Church of Latter-day Saints. And that is a huge problem.
Yes.
Ended up
Oh my God. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for talking about that.
going to our church bishop. The church bishop recommended Jody.
Many of the people in my group, and I would say probably almost 100%, they were married. And through the LDS church referrals.
This was in the last couple of years, right?
It was 2020. So we got married in April of 2021, and the first couple months didn't go very smoothly. And that's when we went to go see Jody. I would say my estimation would be October. I could pull it up on my phone. I have a text from her, but
not only have a number of her victims reported meeting Jody through their bishops, but Jody's own niece, who was once in charge of overseeing her billing, has alleged Jody to be on the church's payroll at least before she lost.
Oh, her story is so sad. I want to say it was on Netflix. I really want to say it was on Netflix. But it was somewhere where I saw her talking about the whole thing and like saw a whole interview with her and with them, excuse me. They go by they, them. With them. And it was sad. It was very sad. And quite honestly, they went through very close to what the Franke kids went through. It's really, really, really sad. So.
Her license.
I did her billing, and she would bill the church, and so like every client essentially, I would say like the vast majority of her clients were from bishop recommendations, just based off of the billing that I would do for her.
Because in the Mormon Church, if somebody can't afford a therapist, tithes and offerings might be used by the bishop, who recommends his ward members to Jody. He would then foot the bill. So the Mormon Church was funding Jody Hildebrandt's wealth.
And that right there is, you know, I don't mean to use this pun, but that right there is the connection on why they need to be investigated also. I honestly believe, I think the feds need to step in. I honestly believe the feds should step in. Honestly. I think the feds need to step in. I really do. Because it's literally not good. Oh, it was a Mormon Stories podcast where Jesse did. Okay, maybe that's it then, Moody. Maybe, yeah, you're probably correct. That's where I saw it. I couldn't remember where I saw it. I know I was sitting here at the desktop when I watched it, okay? But it could have been Netflix, Hulu, or YouTube, or something. I know I watched it, though. Yes, I connected, with an X, the dots. No, I think the feds need to step in. At this point, I think the feds should step in. I really do. I think the feds need to look into everything. Because if this is happening, if that happened to the Franke kids, and Jody Hildebrandt not only did it to her niece and to the Franke kids and fucked up all these other families due to recommendations from bishops in the Mormon Church, I think the feds need to step in. I think they need to step in and they need to investigate it. Yes, absolutely. Oh, Callie, I 100% agree with you. Oh, believe me, I could go on for hours about churches being 501c and how they don't get taxed. Oh, I could go on for hours about that. I agree with you. I 1,000% agree with you. Anywho.
Success and power.
See, and that's why I'm saying church's law in Utah. Yeah, they're famous for that. That's why the federal government needs to step in.
Additionally, ex-Mormon YouTubers Jordan and McKay have gone further into voicing some of their concerns for this dynamic as well.
In a lot of situations, the bishop, if he deems it necessary, he can refer families or couples out to family and couples counseling that the church will pay for. But they will only pay for a couple of visits, and it has to be one of those therapists that's on that LDS Family Services referral list.
Don't get me started on Scientology. Don't get me started on Scientology. I'm not trying to have a website with my name on it because you know how they do. Because I got a lot of things to say about Scientology too. I could go on forever about these churches. Susie, thank you for being a member for 14 months. I really appreciate it. I can go on forever about the different sections of religion in this country. Like, you don't understand. I can go on for hours. There is a reason why I say, fuck your sky daddy. There is a reason why I say it. All right? And I don't care if it's God or Xenu for Scientology. I don't give a fuck. Fuck your sky daddy. There's a reason why I say it. Now, people who are in certain religions, that's fine. I don't mind that. I don't care if other people are in religions. I'm talking about the actual structure of them. Don't get me wrong, because I'm sure I have some Christians in here and people of different religions in here, and that's fine. As long as you're a good person not hurting anybody, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care what you believe in. You can believe in the spaghetti god. I don't care. As long as you're a good person and you're not hurting other people, I do not give a shit. I do not like the establishments that do hurt people. And this establishment was literally sending people to an evil ass woman who had already lost her license once. And they continued to send people her way. Yeah, I don't want exactly. Callie put it perfectly. Callie said it better than me. I'm not about taking away other people's rights to religion, but I don't want them being taken advantage of by corrupt priests trying to scam them either. Exactly. Exactly. Mr. Gamer, I want to need you to behave, okay? I am not going to read what you just typed because, I mean, most of this chat would agree with you. They do love some moist critical, all right? And they barely pay attention to the words coming out of his mouth when I play him on this channel, all right? But I am not going to read that, Mr. Gamer, all right? Mr. Gamer, behave. Behave. This is a Christian Mingle chat, and y'all will be acting like we are on the Christian Mingle website. Y'all are going to behave up in here. Y'all are going to behave, okay? Remember, Christian Mingle chat. Remember, kids. All right, squirrel moment. Is your squirrel moment gone now? Are we good? Let the ADHD sink in so we can focus on this. All right, focus. 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 Jesus Christ. My chat, I swear to God, my chat is, y'all are a mess. Y'all are a complete mess. But you know what? This is such a bad subject. I'm glad that y'all are able to make me laugh, honestly. Because we kind of need it. Because this shit's heavy, bro. This shit's heavy. So I appreciate y'all being corrupted. Y'all are corrupted as hell. Oh my God. All right. Good job, everybody. Shit. All right, let's keep going.
But it also comes down to what we call bishop roulette. And so it really just kind of depends on the bishop. Like, some of them are like, yeah, go to a licensed professional. Don't care who it is. Here's the money. We'll pay for it. And some of them are like, no, LDS therapist only. Like, there's no real, like, rigidity in what they're allowed to do.
Let's not even mention the just ethical nightmare that is turning the church.
Oh, FYI. This is Fun Day Fridays right here. Fundy Fridays. I love that channel. I absolutely adore. And she actually just put out a video about pearly things too. FYI. But I love that channel. Oh my God. Y'all should check out Fundy Fridays. Honestly. If you haven't watched Fundy Fridays, that channel, she and her, I don't know if they're married yet, but I do know they became fiancés. So I'll just say fiance for now. I don't know if they're married yet. But her and her fiance, oh my God, they go through like every bigwig and like fundamentalist like religions and churches and stuff like that. Such a good channel. I love this channel. You do not understand how much I love their channel. So check out Fun Day Fridays. You can see how it's spelled there on the bottom when I click play. But check them out. It's a really, really, really good channel. Oh, they recently got married? Okay, cool. All right, then her husband. There we go. I didn't know. But really, really good channel. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Jada Take. I appreciate that. Really good channel.
Church into the payer.
Yes. Yeah.
The oh my God, like the second you said like they'll pay for some of it, my heart seized. That is ethics 101. If the payer has an agenda, then it's gonna bleed into the treatment.
Exactly. He said it best.
That is ethics 101. If the payer has an agenda, then it's gonna bleed into the treatment.
It's like when it used to be really bad back in the day, but like if you got hurt on the job and you could only go to that one doctor, well, the agenda was that doctor is going to find a way for it not to be as bad as what the injury already was. It's the same concept. So,
if your bishop refers you to a therapist, then it's safe to assume you will be getting treatment in line with the church. Which, sure, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing, but a therapist mixing their personal spirituality with their practice is generally something to absolutely avoid.
Listen. It shouldn't have anything to do with it. Because when I personally would think a therapist would be able to treat anyone because their therapy should not be based on a religion. It should be based on human beings, not a religion. There's too much to that.
As this can often create way more problems than it solves. At least according to psychology PhD and host of the Mormon Stories podcast.
Yes, Barry, let's hope people don't read that. You're right.
John Dehlin.
Scrupulosity is a classic form of OCD, which is religious OCD, where hyper-religiosity or hyper-rumination about worthiness and about righteousness can be its own form of OCD. So if you go to an OCD client who's got scrupulosity and you tell them, look, you just need to remember that you're a child of God and study the scriptures and pray more. They may be praying 4, 5, 6 hours a day. They may be reading the scriptures 4, 5, 6 hours a day. They may be having ruminations constantly about their worthiness. And if you start putting pressure on them about other thoughts they need to be having to just magically cure themselves from their OCD by just remembering you're a child of God, you can actually exacerbate their ruminations instead of neutralize them and help them.
And to give you an idea of who they would and wouldn't recommend, here is former LDS sex therapist Natasha Helfer talking about being removed from the referral list for not buying into the church's unfounded view on masturbation and being gay.
Because I was public about my stances that are parallel to the American Pediatric Association, the American Psychological Association, that something like masturbation or being gay are parts of normative human development and sexual behavior and identity, I was off-listed of the Mormon bishops list. LDS Family Services wouldn't refer to me anymore. And yet you have on the regular here in the state of Utah, Mormon bishops, part of why they're being referred to is because they're not going to have those sex positive and clinically sound stances.
According to...
And there you go. I'm telling you, the feds need to step in. They absolutely need to step in. I don't care who says what. The feds need to step in.
Spencer Tibbetts, who attended Jody's sessions as a teenager, Jody reportedly told him that if he didn't accept the Mormon God, he would never be able to get help from therapy. This, of course, was after Jody moved him out of the children's group and into her men's group so he could have more in-depth discussions on porn addiction with grown men who had been separated from their wives due to their tendencies.
Oh my
Even though Spencer
God.
had originally been sent to Jody.
Okay, this story pissed me off because why would you do that to a 16-year-old? A 16-year-old doesn't need to be in a class with a bunch of adult men who are talking about their porn addiction and the problems they're having with their wives. What the fuck does a 16-year-old know about that discussion? He should not be hearing that. Holy shit!
For having an extra phone to play video games on. At that point, he didn't even know what porn was. But that didn't stop Jody from putting him in a support group where grown men would openly describe incest fantasies to him.
Hearing that,
Oh
that
my,
she
oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why would you put a 16-year-old in there? That's abusive. A 16-year-old should not be hearing that. What the fuck, bro?
treated you with adults who had porn addiction and spoke openly about those kinds of things, as well as fantasies that should never be mentioned in front of a 16-year-old. What were some of those sessions like for you as a 21-year-old now looking back at your 16-year-old self?
All of the conversations that I had, it was a 45-minute call every day for a few weeks with a different person each time. As an adult looking back at that now, it's horribly disturbing. I can't imagine answering the phone and hearing a squeaky little kid's voice and being like, yeah, you know, I have a porn addiction.
You know, Jim Jones, I actually agree with you. The fact that Jody is behind it, how do we know that any of these people weren't gaslit into thinking those issues in the first place? No, I agree. I agree with you. I think they were gaslit into it. I do. I agree with you. I bet you they were. Honestly.
Countless testimonies seem to indicate clients were having their lives actively worsened by the treatment Jody offered in the form of in-person meetings, a private Facebook group, and public videos she posted online with, oh, hey, look at that, we know her.
Okay, this is the section I really, really, really wanted to see.
Welcome back to Connections.
Because I know that Jay Aubrey is pretty good about explaining things, and sometimes he'll put in things you haven't seen before, which he's already has. And I didn't know much about the connection, so this is the part that I really, really wanted to see.
Jody Hildebrandt.
And I'm Ruby Franke.
It's unclear when exactly Ruby first came into contact with Jody, but she would occasionally name drop her in the later years of 8 Passengers in reference to the treatment her son Chad was receiving. As we know, at least both he and Ruby's own brother Beau had been going to her. Of course, Beau's experience wasn't the same as Ruby's though, judging by a review he left a year ago stating, I am very concerned that what I've shared gets gossiped about among others. I've scheduled an appointment that was canceled without informing me.
She was a snitch. You know it was. Matter of fact, she probably told Ruby.
Jody ignores my request for a receipt of services. So while not everyone in Ruby's family may have been on board with Jody, this didn't stop her from joining her in videos and attending seminars, as evident by these old videos of Kevin dancing on stage with Jody.
And I learned how to get along, and so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here without that look upon your face. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die?
Bro, what is this? What is this? Tell me you have no rhythm without telling me you have no rhythm.
No, I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive.
Sorry, but I couldn't not include that. Eventually, though, Ruby and Jody became full-time business partners as Ruby began slowing down content to upload it to 8 Passengers, transforming her original Instagram into @MomsOfTruth, and losing followers every time she posted videos and infographics to promote Connections. But I doubt this mattered much, because to her, sharing wisdom to countless parents through Connections Classroom was far more important than anything else she was doing before. Plus, she wanted to save her kids or something.
You wonder where I've been on my vlogs? You wonder why I left YouTube? It's to save my kids. No amount of...
Bitch! Bitch! You lying? I'm gonna be honest with you. She got worse. I think once her husband left, she got worse. And of course, Jody was okay with it the whole damn time because she was there. I'm telling you. Watch these two together. I can't say it for a fact, okay? So I am not going to sit here like I am an authority and say it's a fact, okay? So for conspiracy theories, for entertainment purposes only, I'm telling you, these two were a thing. The pictures that they took, they look like they were girlfriends. The way they act around each other, they act like they're girlfriends, but because of their faith, they couldn't say it. I truly believe that in my heart. I truly believe it in my heart. Now, I could be wrong. And if I find out I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong. All right? Because it's not that big of a deal. The more big deal is what happened to those kids. That's the important thing. Okay? But as a side quest, I think they were lovers. I really think they were lovers. That is my conspiracy theory. Because Jody got rid of the husband and moved Ruby Franke in. Oh, I think romantically, Callie. I'm telling you now, I think they are a thing. I think they are a couple. I really believe that. I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm not saying I'm 100% right. But I really believe that they're a couple.
Money. And I'm telling you, I was making millions. And I left it because my kids were being hurt. With entitlement, they were being hurt. With people's advice, and they didn't have a mother up the front saying, I don't care what the world's opinion is. This is the truth, and this is where I stand.
Bitch, you were hurting them. What are you saying? And you continue to hurt them. The child had lacerations on their body from where he was tied up. He had to sneak out for food and water. And that's the only reason why your ass got caught. What do you mean you protected them? And your fucked up husband didn't protect them either. He ran like a fucking pussy and didn't fight for his kids. Absolutely not. With I think it was duct tape. I think it was.
And fortunately, I had a chance. I had them in my home long enough to do it, and I'm not going to lose them.
It was also around this time that people began to speculate on Ruby's marriage, wondering if her husband Kevin had left the picture at this point. Their separation would later be confirmed by Kevin's lawyer, stating he had officially moved out of the house by late 2022 and thus lost contact with the children, but we'll get into all of that later.
You don't just lose contact with your children. You can kiss my ass with that theory. A real man would be going to the cops saying, I want to see my kids. Or going to a lawyer, I want to see my kids. I want to go to court. I want to do everything possible I can do to see my children. But then again, it kind of makes sense that he didn't fight for his kids because while he was there, they were getting mistreated. They were getting abused while he was right there. So why would he care? Honestly, if you think about it. He didn't give a fuck when he was there, so why would he give a fuck when he wasn't there? It's just now it wasn't in his hands anymore and he didn't have to deal with it. Shit. Fuck him too. I absolutely do not feel sorry for him. Fuck him. He's not an important part either. Those kids are the first foremost important things on it. The important issues in the story. His kids, his children. And he obviously didn't give a fuck enough about his kids, and while he was there, he didn't stop that shit. You waited an hour to take your child to the fucking emergency room because your wife wanted to stall and clean? No, bitch. You pack that child up in the car and you go without her. Because who's more important, your child or your stuck-up fucking wife? Your child. Kiss my ass.
First, it's important to understand the core pillars of connections largely rely on the words truth and distortion. According to Jody, it's important to rid yourself of distortion in order to give yourself a life in the truth. Which is obviously a very loaded statement, because what do those terms mean, and how are we defining any of them?
That sounds like some cult from the 60s. That literally sounds like some flower power cult from the 60s. Literally.
this? Well, to Jody, distortion can loosely refer to any of the following. Addiction, which ranges from anything as innocuous as exercise or driving to more severe cases like drugs or alcohol. To Jody, nearly anything can count as an addiction. You can even be addicted to receiving compliments by her definition.
When I first came to Connections, my very first thought was, I don't belong here. I don't belong here because this is a support group for people who look at porn, sex addicts, things like that. But that's not me. I'm not an addict. But I learned through my experience, I had so many addictions. I was addicted to work. I was addicted.
Well, apparently I'm addicted to hate because I keep doing YouTube then, huh? No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Ha ha, that was a joke.
To sports. I was addicted to my phone. Everybody who's listening to this conference today, you are an addict. You are an addict. You are addicted to at least one thing, whether it's food, the mirror, whether it's your body appearance, fitness, your phone, video games, sports. You are addicted to something. And all of that is, I'd be willing to bet money that you're making those choices to feel better about yourself because of the generational distortions that we've discussed today.
Distortion can also mean you're living in shame or denial, being codependent in your relationship, living in lust, or being controlling and manipulative of others. It's also important to note that Jody believes everyone is living in distortion to some degree or another, but that she possesses the power to help you overcome distortion and live a life in truth instead. In order to achieve truth, you must develop 3 core principles: impeccable honesty, humility, and rigorous personal responsibility. And as long as you dedicate yourself to these principles of truth, you will absolutely find happiness and joy.
Okay, people, we're going to go through a class today. And what we're going through is we're going to learn what red flags to look for. Okay? People who preach about living the truth, finding the truth. Like, the truth is really, like, in their message, red flag. Because it's usually not the truth, it's their truth they want you to live. It's their ideology they want you to live. People who usually speak like that are running a fucking cult. Or they want to run a fucking cult. Another person who does that is Mr. Girl. Mr. Girl does the same thing. He is a wannabe cult leader. Angela, 1,000% correct. Jody created distortion so she could hide behind it. Most cult leaders do. You know what most cult leaders do? They preach against the same shit they do. They preach against the same shit they do. So they can hide behind it. And that's what she was doing. That's what Ruby Franke did when she said she stopped vlogging to protect her children. When in fact, she actually wasn't. She was actually harming them more. Because the camera wasn't there anymore. You know what? I almost want to say that the kids were probably safer when she was vlogging. Because she couldn't tie them up with duct tape. Like she was doing when the cameras got cut off. I mean, Jim Jones was a cult leader. He died. I think it was in Guatemala. Jonestown. Yeah. Ruby admits she yelled less. I'm telling you. To tell you the truth, this shit probably would have happened to those kids if she wasn't vlogging back in the day. And when she cut those cameras off, it got worse for the kids. Yeah. Different Jim Jones, by the way. I guess so. Jim Jones died in like the 70s. I think it was the 70s or early 80s. Either way. Yeah, different Jim Jones. Definitely. But you know what, Jim Jones? You are the chat's official cult leader, okay? You are now hereby known as the Christian Mingle chat's official cult leader. Because we don't really have one, okay? So, I mean, somebody has to take that title. You know, I run a cabal over here. So your official title in the cabal is cult leader because of the name. All right. Now, if I see you abusing your powers, then we're going to have issues. All right. Just to let you know. And there will be no drinking of Kool-Aid, everybody, because Jim Jones is here. All right.
Coaching, therapy, meditation groups, whatever modality you're going to, that you're not finding peace. If you are willing to come and learn about principles of truth and actually willing to humble and choose to be responsible and choose to be honest, you will find calmness. I mean, this sounds so, kind of like, hey, you do this and you'll have joy. And the truth is, if you actually do live principles of truth, you will have the fruit of joy. Yes. You will. So if you're...
Do the kids living under your roof have the fruits of joy? You dumb bitch. Do the kids living under your roof have the fruits of joy? I don't think they did. I really don't. I don't think they did.
Trying to engage in distortion and still find joy, you will not be successful. It won't matter where you go. You must be willing to choose principles of truth, which is learning how to be honest, responsible, and humble. And there's many other principles, like be compassionate, know how to clean up your side of the street. Another word for that is repent. How to forgive, how to be long-suffering, how to be patient.
Fairy, I know that, but it's okay. For the purposes of our chat, being that it's so Christian mingle, and we're so sarcastic over here on this channel that it's kind of sickening sometimes, and my chat has the worst case of ADHD imaginable, it fits. Okay? It fits. Just go with it, Fairy. All right? You're on Xylie Gets Real. You're not on some kind of channel where they make sense, okay? We do things a little bit differently over here, okay? We're a little crazy over here. And that's okay. I love my chat. All right? Y'all the ones that keep me going. Yes, exactly. The chat talked about seagulls for 20 minutes before we got started, okay? You can't expect too much from my chats. Oh my God. I love my community surrounding my channel. I love my community. I can't, y'all. Y'all, my community is crazy. Y'all crazy as hell. Y'all crazy as hell. Y'all wild. Yes. Exactly, Midna. Y'all wild as hell. Stina, neurospicy. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Okay, we're almost done with this section.
How to be truly kind and genuine and sincere. These are all principles of truth.
Now, if that doesn't make any sense, that's fine. It doesn't. Most of this is just word soup anyway. We'll see the actual material effect of this
Excuse me, sir. It's word salad, not word soup. Okay? Get it correct.
Curriculum play out pretty soon. But the most important thing to remember right now is that Jodi considers these principles to be absolute truths. Jodi, as stated in her book, markets herself as having heavenly instruction from God himself to heal your...
Okay, we're not talking about seagulls anymore. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Put a 1 in the chat if you're focused now. Okay? We're going to have an ADHD moment. Put a 1 in the chat if you are now focused. Because I will turn this bus around and shut this live stream down. I mean, those of you who are not putting 1, I will hide your ass. I'm letting you know now. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. Y'all want me? Y'all think I'm playing? Y'all think I'm playing? Let's see. Let's see who the first victim is. Indigo Fox. Do you think that green is going to save you? I'm just wondering. Oh, Cosmo's saying rip me. What did you put, Cosmo? Hold on. What did Cosmo put? Oh, a 2. Cosmo, do you think that green's gonna save you? Y'all been here long enough to know I'll do it with you watching me. Okay, anywho, let's get back to what we were doing. Oh God, I love my chat. I wouldn't give y'all up for nothing in the world. Y'all are entertaining as hell. All right, let's go.
Problems. And she markets Connections Classroom as the ultimate objective guide to living a happy life, making her program out to be superior to any other counseling service on the market.
Anything that you think, anything that you feel, anything that you choose to engage in behaviorally, such as putting something into your body, it is your responsibility to assess all of that for, is this truthful? Is this honest? Is this responsible?
You know what? Not gonna lie. She kind of talks like she's in Scientology. She literally talks like she's in Scientology. That's like some Scientology shit she's talking. Literally. She's literally talking like she's in Scientology. Oh my God.
And am I being humble? Am I open? Am I curious?
But the problem here is that not everyone has the same definition of what is responsible or humble or open or curious. I mean, these are such vague terms, it's hard to know what we're talking about here. I don't know how this is meant to be useful to anyone.
You gotta use the right tools to go after fuck beliefs. I recommend an axe of truth.
I'm gonna keep my comments to myself on this part. I'm gonna keep my comments to myself because I like my YouTube channel. Okay.
So you see all these weeds? See all these tributaries? See how they all go up? You see what a tangled mess that is? These are all your distortions. There's hundreds of them shooting off from this one root structure. And the root structure is your core belief.
Oh my God. She's literally talking like a cult leader, bro. Oh my God. It's like she ran a hippie cult from like the 60s and 70s. But it's rooted in the Mormon church. She is crazy. What the fuck? Holy shit. What did Callie say? Oh, Callie, I am not reading that. I'm going to press play. That's what I'm going to do.
Core beliefs. Look at a mess these core just got hurt my eye.
Most of the Connections curriculum comes across more antagonizing than anything else, though. If you want an example, look no further than Ruby and Jody's perspective on ADHD. This is a longer clip from one of their meetings, but I think it's important you hear as much of it as you can.
There's no ADHD, just extreme irresponsibility.
Okay, well, first of all, we can disprove that because all you gotta do is look at any one of my chats and you can see that ADHD is very prevalent in it. Okay, first off. All right. And as a card-carrying member of the ADHD club, I can tell you that this shit is false. Oh my God. Oh my God.
She was choosing to be extremely irresponsible, super manipulative, and I didn't see it because she's very sweet. She doesn't yell, she doesn't pinch or hit, she's not destructive like on the outward side. When I call her, she comes running always with a smile. And so it was hidden from me for a very long time. And it's just that she's learned how to manipulate.
She has a very effective veneer.
Yeah. And as we've been holding her accountable, it's become very apparent to us, there's no attention deficit. She has agency to choose to be attentive if she wants to. There is no power. There is no deficit. There's no personality. There's no disorder. There's no that can take your agency from you. None. There's no such thing as having a disorder that robs you of your agency, ever.
I'm trying to be really clear with you that your child is not ADHD. They are a soul that needs to learn how to manage their physiology. Somebody just asked a question. Does that include children with intellectual disabilities or who have physical brain damage? So I'm going to bring up the story that all of us know about Helen Keller. The reason we know about Helen Keller is because there was a woman by the name of Annie Sullivan who did not tolerate Helen Keller's distortions. Now, Helen Keller was disabled, and back then she was very disabled. And The reason we don't know about other people who were disabled back then is because probably they were all enabled to say they're disabled. But because this Annie Sullivan said, you can do this, you have the capability. And she taught her principles of truth. We know that. We know she taught her to be responsible. We know she was very honest with her about her ability. So this isn't about a one size fits all, other than the one size that fits all is you teach every child, you teach every adult, you teach everyone that's on the planet, I don't care how disabled they may look, that you expect them to be honest because you're modeling that like you're honest. Like you expect them to be honest about how they feel and what's going on. And then you expect them to be responsible for how they feel.
I don't have to sit here and tell you that pretending your child's ADHD isn't real opens up the door for a number of developmental issues that will need to be addressed at some point.
Oh my God. You know, I was wondering about the sunglasses too myself, not gonna lie. Bro. Yeah, I would say so, Sakura. I would say so. I would definitely say so.
It's not by Ruby and Jody, who deny such a problem even exists, evidently. While we're at it, let's also hear Jody's thoughts on post-traumatic stress disorder, a condition that the American Psychiatric
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God.
Association estimates at least 3.5% of Americans deal with. Going directly against the APA's definition, Jody seems to write PTSD off as a means for people to simply hide behind their trauma and use it to their own advantage, which is certainly...
You know what? I want her to speak that to a veteran. I want her to tell a veteran, you don't have PTSD. I would love for her to say that to my husband, that he don't have PTSD. And the shit he deals with it because of his PTSD. Oh, the shit that he deals with because of his PTSD. I wish he would. Could you imagine if she had that conversation with Tommy? Could you imagine if she went to Tommy saying PTSD isn't a thing, it's a way to hide behind the trauma and get away with stuff? Ooh. Tommy would eat her up alive. Oh my God. What, Pumpkin? What? Baby, I'm busy. You know, you see me talking to people. What? Hold on. I have to pick the princess up. Come here. Come here. Come here. I'll pick you up. You got... Listen, woman. All right. Jesus Christ. I bet you can't wait till I get my camera turned on, huh? So you can show everybody how pretty you are, huh? 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 Now, can I do my job? Can I do my job now? Thank you. All right. No, you cannot get on the keyboard. Oh my God. Get over here where your bed is. Right here. Right beside me. All right? Right there. Just stay right there. Lay down. Oh my God. Okay, let's go.
So I know that there is a title, there is an acronym called PTSD that the psychological community has created to give people who have had trauma permission to stay there. And like I said, people who want to be well and not allow that to affect them are willing to tell themselves the truth, and they do heal. And then there's others, and there's a lot of you out there that don't want to change. And you'll take offense at this. Everybody who takes offense at what I'm saying in this podcast are those people that I'm talking about that want to hide behind their trauma and use it.
Oh my God, you're stupid. And she's a therapist? Oh my God. Oh my God.
So you can keep your comments to yourself if you don't like what I'm saying. I already know where you're at.
Jody's immediate hostility here towards anyone dealing with repressed trauma is kind of shocking to hear from a board-certified therapist. Her advice genuinely seems to boil down to just, hey, stop having trauma, quit it. According to her, if you're still dealing with trauma, it's because you must be choosing it. Maybe because you like being a victim. Who knows? I don't know.
Maybe you like being a victim. Maybe you like the attention you get from being a victim. I don't know what your particular case is, but the question was, if I have PTSD and I keep getting triggered, is that a distorted fear? And the answer is yes. You do not have to walk around being injured for the past. You just don't have to do that. And I'm not being cold or callous or trying to be insensitive. I've had so much trauma in my life, and I have healed all of it. If you're having triggers and you're going back into that same thing, you are engaging in self-deception.
You know, I don't agree with that. I don't think she has. You know why? If she's dealt with, okay, let's just say she is correct. She had a bunch of trauma happening to her as she's growing up and as an adult, whatever. All right? She thinks she's healed. But it sounds like to me, she took it out on those kids. Same thing with Ruby Franke. It sounds like to me, whatever trauma that Ruby Franke had, she took it out on those kids. Oh, took it out on the men too. True, Callie. True. Very true. This bitch crazy.
And you need to figure out why you're doing that, because you're getting something out of it. And that may sound uncaring on my part, but it is the truth. You're getting something. People are giving you attention. You seem injured or wounded. Maybe you get a paycheck from somebody, the government, because you're in disability. I don't know, but you're getting things.
Look, I'm not a therapist or anything, but I know the term PTSD doesn't exist as a mechanism to give people permission to feel trapped. It's a legitimate condition that nobody asks for. Nobody enjoys dealing with it, obviously. But Jodi implying otherwise, it tells you a lot about how she perceives victims. Keeping with the victim shaming theme, in another video, Ruby goes on to ask what someone could have done to put themselves in a position to get assaulted.
If you end up pregnant, then you had sex first. Or if you were pregnant, you were taken advantage of. And what did you do to put yourself in a situation where you're being taken advantage of? So
really great mental health.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my, oh, Lord, I can tell you now, if I would have known about all this, I would have been doing countless live streams on this shit. Oh my God.
Fitness training going on here, I gotta say. Just like in this clip where Ruby suggests what to do when your child has an eating disorder.
she just knows she's getting a hit by not eating, and she's getting a hit by lying about it. And you are so easily fooled that you go along with it. So what you need to do is get big and say, no, I know exactly what's going on here. I will not be lied to. And then her world needs to get really, really small. I don't know if she's involved in a friend group. I don't know if she's part of any extracurricular group. I don't know if she's doing after school things. I don't know what she's involved in, but you need to know more about where your daughter is. I would get her off of the smartphone, off of the phone, off of the internet. They are sources of distortion and lust.
Isn't it amazing? Okay, you know, I'm sorry, I have to say this, all right? It is amazing to me that these people preach about getting people off the internet while they are on the internet making their money. She's on TikTok. She was on YouTube. Connections was on YouTube. Web pages, Facebook groups. Get off the internet except for when you're watching me. While she's using a smartphone. There you go. Exactly. Cult leaders. I'm telling you, cult leaders.
Your daughter is being very controlling. This is a control issue. She's trying to control her identity. She's trying to control her pain. She's trying to control her who she is.
First of all, making ED out to be something a child chooses and that they must be held accountable for lying to the parent is so antithetical to working through their condition alongside them. You cannot tell me it's healthy or beneficial to cut your child off from outside influences, shrink their world, and restrict their friend group, especially when they're struggling with something as serious.
Oh, I can tell you now. Because I've seen it. I've seen kids, literally their parents wouldn't let them listen to secular music. Their parents told them who their friends can and can't be. Their parents watched every little step they did. Their parents was right up their ass their entire time growing up. And do you know what 90% of these kids did when they got out of high school and they went on to college? A good 90% of them went fucking crazy and partied harder than the kids who didn't grow up like that. They went exactly what Callie said. They went buck wild because they finally got a taste of freedom and they overdid it. I have seen it firsthand. And it is amazing. And the funny thing is, these were the same kids that were praised in the school for being the good kids, and you know they make straight A's, and they're a perfect example on how a Christian child should be. Until they got a taste of freedom, and they went crazy. Yeah, they finally got control over their lives. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yep.
This is ED. That's not looking out for them. You're just making things infinitely harder. You're ignoring the problem by suggesting there's some ulterior motive at play. And to call the child controlling? What is she controlling?
You are responsible for your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. That's it. And you're responsible to teach your child.
Indigo for 2. The tighter the leash, the farther they run. True. Very true, Indigo. Thank you for the 2. I appreciate it.
The same. You are responsible to be honest and humble and take accountability. That's it. When you're one of the reasons you're feeling overwhelmed is because you're not understanding the choice and accountability piece. You're scared to hold your child accountable. How do I know that? Because of what you're going to ask in the third question, which I have not shared with you yet. But this mother is very intimidated by her children.
Isn't this kind of funny, her saying that now that we know she's in jail and going through court? Isn't it kind of like she can look in the mirror now? My mom made me give up Pokemon cards. Now she doesn't care. Nuke.
I don't know your children. I don't know how they're reacting, but they are responding in distortion. And that could be they're giving you the cold shoulder. They're yelling at you. They're being grumpy. They're refusing to give affection. They're holding their affection hostage unless you, the mom, do what I'm telling you to. You're being canceled in your own home. Your own children are canceling you.
I mean, when it's not wholeheartedly depressing, some of the stuff is just ridiculous. I mean, you expect me to take your parenting advice seriously when these are the kinds of words you use? There's nothing clinical about any of what these people are saying. A lot of the time, it's just whatever bad and neglectful parents want to hear. They're saying things like, it's not a parent's job to make their child happy or succeed.
What? That's oh my God. Oh my God. It is not it's not a parent's job to make their child happy or successful. Now, successful can be subjective, okay? But it is your job as a parent to not only mold your child, but also to protect them from what you can at a time. But there comes a time when the children has to start making decisions on their own. They have to start making decisions so that way, when it's time for them to be an adult and making decisions for themselves, they're prepared as best they can be. All right? But even young adults fuck up because you end up with a slew of things that you never thought would happen. You know? And that's great. Why would your kid want to give you affection when you're constantly emotionally abusing them? Exactly. Why else would a kid pray to God that they survive? And then you think it's cute that they're saying it. What? What? That is disgusting. That's gross.
Successful or give them a magical childhood.
Your job is not to provide them with a magical childhood. I'm going to do a video on that coming up, magical childhoods. Your job is not to make sure that your children are accepted by their peers or that they have friends or birthday parties or Christmas presents or like the list of things that people think children need today are astronomical and very unrealistic.
And while it is necessary for children to learn certain life skills in order to develop independence, that's usually done more gradually than what Ruby and Jody assert. And with the information we know now about Ruby's neglect, it's impossible for me to sit here and watch these videos without any alarm bells going off. In context to the arrest, these principles seem to be a way for Ruby to justify her horrendous behavior more than anything else.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to spend the day with Jody? Come spend 2 days with us in southern Utah hiking, jet skiing, engaging in training sessions, and one-on-one coaching. Or spend 2 days with us in Lake...
I'm telling you, they were a couple. You cannot... Listen. Y'all would have a really hard time trying to tell me that they're not a couple. Swear to God. I'm sorry. I think they were a couple. It's just the only reason why they weren't really out about being a couple is because of their religion. Probably with that CEO, RSVP. The kids were probably with the CEO, where they found 2 of the kids when her ass got arrested. That's probably where they were. Or unless they were at the house by themselves, like they were for a whole fucking week, when the cops came by. Exactly, fake kiddo. Exactly.
Havasu, enjoying training sessions, one-on-one coaching, good food, and boating. Go deeper, quicker with this life-on-life training, where you will be spending all day and evening with Jody and myself, getting the help that you need.
Hey! Hey! Let me in! Is someone running circles around you in your life? Jody's running circles around me. She says it's all gonna be good. She wouldn't throw Pam off. She'll throw me though. Huh?
It's pretty evident to me that Jody was beginning to rub off on Ruby. The more she sort of mentored her as this mental health fitness trainer, I will never get over that title, just seemed to further delude Ruby in a way that those around her began to notice. Specifically the rest of her family, who have opposed Jody and connections from the very beginning. Ruby's sister Julie, a fellow family vlogger, recently took to her channel to...
You know, and that's something that the niece said. The niece said that, yeah, Ruby Franke was really bad with her kids before, right? But the niece was talking about how they think that the shit that was happening right then and there, like what they got caught with the kids and stuff like that, with the kid where the son snuck out and got to get food and water. The niece said that they believe that actually Jody was behind everything, because that was Jody's tactics on doing things. Yeah, what I think is, I think 2 evil women got together and they combined their evil powers to do horrendous shit. That's what I think. Honestly, I think both women are evil, and they combined together and did some horrendous shit. I really do. I really do. In my heart of hearts, that's what I believe.
To explain things from her own perspective.
We all felt weird about this Jody lady. We weren't comfortable with it. We didn't like it. We didn't like the teachings Ruby was bringing to the family functions, and we were this close to telling her, if you come to our family events anymore, we do not want to hear what you were learning through connections, because we don't like it. 3 years ago, Ruby and I hung out bottling tomatoes, and then a few weeks later, crap hit the fan and she left the family.
According to Julie, it got to a point where Ruby was cutting herself off from anyone she perceived to be living in distortion, even those in her own family.
She didn't even call me to say, hey, you know, Julie, you're doing this and this, and I don't like it. You're living your life in distortion, so I'm gonna have to take some time away from you. No, literally nothing.
Which aligns with a testimony from another one of Jody's clients, Stephanie Jones, who told NBC, the theory was that if you're meeting with Jody, then you are all living in truth, and so she doesn't want you talking to anyone else about your problems.
That's a fucking cult! That is a fucking cult. Hello. Is anybody else going to use the fucking word? Because that's exactly what the fuck it was. It was a cult. Oh my God.
She wanted you talking to people that were also living in truth. So this is where I started to feel it kind of got...
And yes, when I'm saying cult, I mean the abusive part too, because most cults are abusive because they isolate you. If you have to be isolated from everyone in your life except for the people who are learning the truth of what you're learning, that's a motherfucking cult. And it's abusive. Because you quite literally have to cut people out of your life that don't fucking deserve it. Holy shit.
Got cult-like. She wanted everything to stay in the group. You're not allowed to have a different opinion than her.
She did call my mom and yelled at my mom on the phone for 45 minutes and accused her of things that were not true. She was trying to grab at anything she could, and she would exaggerate on everything. It was almost as if Ruby had been making up memories from her childhood.
This is something I found to be particularly interesting, especially when we factor in the testimony recently given by Jody's niece, Jessie Hildebrand, providing even further disturbing insight into the real-life consequences of what connections can bring.
You were also under her care at one.
Okay. So we're going to end there because I know about the niece. I've seen it. We talked about it on the broadcast. I was going to do the other video, but we've already been here like 2 hours. So, if anything, I'm going to look through what Kayla has been talking about lately. Because the video I was going to watch is 2 months old, but being that I forgot who it was in the chat, so if I forgot who you were that told me, don't take it personally. But someone in chat said that she's looking into the sisters. So I want to see what Kayla is doing with that. So, yeah. Oh, Midna, it was you. Okay. So, I'll look into that later. Like, as in, you know, I'll probably look into it. You know what I mean? Shit, you know what I mean. That was crazy. That was a good video, though. I actually recommend y'all going to watch the rest of this video. I like J. Aubrey's videos. I really do. I knew there would be stuff in there I hadn't seen before. So make sure to check that video out. It's right there. It's also going to be in the description below. That way you can watch the rest of the video, or you can watch the whole thing without my commentary on top of it. I do recommend you go watch it, though. Shout out J. Aubrey. It was a pretty good video. Well, you know what, Faye Kiddo? That's my job, to inflict pain onto y'all. And to ruin your lives. One fucked up YouTube video at a time. That's my job. And I do it well, I think. Oh, shit. Ow. I just want to let y'all know, Pumpkin's bugging the shit out of me right now. She's actually a pain in the ass. We're going to hold an auction, and it's going to be for Pumpkin. So get your super chat money ready. The highest bidder will get her. I'm just joking. My husband would probably... Actually, I know my husband would divorce me if I got rid of her. My husband would divorce me. No, that's his baby. Pumpkin's his baby. But, alright, well, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for coming and watching with me and listen to the reaction and the reactions in chat. I love the community that we're building here. You know, and I want us to continue. So... You know, thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it. And, people, with how the saying goes, and always remember, keep it what? What are we keeping it? We're keeping it what? That's right. Miss Stripes got it. Always remember, keep that shit real. Bye.
Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains. I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things. Gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic.